Palia is a free-to-play MMO for Switch and PC that I've had my eye on for a while. The interesting thing about it is that it's an MMO, but the gameplay is closer to a game like Stardew Valley, where you work on your skills like farming or cooking, befriend the townspeople, and customize your cozy house. I'm especially interested in the customization in this game. They have some examples on their website and in their trailers that look really cute. The closed beta started last week and I've been playing it like crazy, so I wanted to make a video giving an overview of the game and my first impressions. As of a couple days ago, Palia is now an open beta and anyone can play it, so you should definitely sign up if you're interested. In the world of Palia, humans have been extinct for thousands of years, until suddenly humans start appearing out of nowhere, including you. All the NPCs are either these pink-skinned elves called Majiri, golems, or whatever this guy's supposed to be. There are ruins all over the world that are supposedly ruins of the previous human civilization, but there are some things that suggest that maybe these ruins are manufactured and there's some kind of conspiracy going on. The developers have said that they intend to create a deep and evolving story that will continue to change, which is pretty cool. I personally don't play these types of games for the story, but this one has roped me in and I'm curious to know where it's going. Something that has often been the deciding factor for the success of these farming sim or life sim type games is the characters. The character design and writing can really make or break the enjoyment and how real it feels. So far, Palia's characters are vibrant and interesting. You have this kind of annoying, nerdy researcher who's trying to help you figure out what happened to the humans. You have this rebellious goth girl who's the daughter of the magistrate. Then you also have this fisherman golem who likes when you gift him shiny pebbles, and lots more. Overall, I'm really liking the characters and I think they fit really well into the world the devs have built. So it seems like the skills in this game are fishing, cooking, gardening, mining, furniture making, foraging, bug catching, and hunting. Based on the accomplishments, it seems like the max level for each of these skills is 50. I do feel in general that it takes probably too much experience to actually level up these skills. I can understand wanting it not to be too fast if the max level is only 50, but a lot of these I really have done a decent amount of and I'm still at level 1. I think that the first maybe 5 or so levels should go a little bit faster than that in my opinion. As you level up the skills, you can start to craft better and better equipment, and I think the highest level equipment looks pretty cool. To access these skills, you just press the R button and you can select any of these tools, which I really like because you don't have to keep these tools in your actual inventory and they don't take up space there. Let's take a look at each skill. Mining works exactly how you think it would, you just hit rocks. There are different ores in this game. I think the only one you can hit immediately is copper, but there's definitely some other ones I've seen that I haven't been able to break because of my mining level. You can also smelt ores into bars and stone into stone bricks to help with your crafting and building. The foraging skill is really straightforward. You just cut trees with your axe or bushes. Things that you pick up from the ground like mushrooms also count for foraging, so I think it's the easiest skill to level up, but that's pretty normal. And similar to mining, you are restricted on what you can hit depending on your mining level and the level of your tool. So for example, I can't hit these taller trees because I'm still at a low level. Similar to with the mining, there's a sawmill where you can create planks out of logs, and I'm sure you can create other types of planks as well. This is just the lowest level wood that is the only one that I have access to currently. To fish, you can just cast your line in the water. There are some places there's these spots with fish jumping out of them. I'm not sure what the difference is. I think it might be that you're more likely to catch a fish there. All you do is wait for the bobber to fall and then click the left mouse button and reel it in while moving the mouse to make sure that the bobber stays within the green lines. You can fish without bait, but I'm sure fishing with bait is much better, and it looks like you can create a worm farm to help speed up that process of getting bait. Hunting just involves holding down left click to draw back your bow and aiming at animals. It seems like some of them you need to hit them twice, like these deer type animals, but the smaller ones you'll need to hit once. I assume that when I'm able to craft better quality arrowheads, I would only need to hit these once as well. But I find this pretty satisfying. I like how the aim works, and this skill is overall pretty fun. To catch bugs, you throw these little smoke balls at them, kind of like a Pokeball almost. And I guess the smoke stuns them, so you can pick them up and catch them. Sometimes you'll catch a bug that has a star beside it, which means that it's good enough quality that you can place it in your house. I've also noticed that sometimes bugs need 2 different smoke bombs to actually catch them. I think I've only seen this when I've alerted the bug that I'm there and it's noticed me, but I'm not entirely sure. It could just be specific types of bugs require more smoke. So again, similar to the hunting, if I were to craft better quality smoke bombs, I might not need 2. The furniture making looks pretty cool. I've unlocked all these designs, but there's a bunch more that you can buy and probably unlock from quests. Sometimes when you craft things, it'll show you 3 silhouettes of items, and whichever one you pick, you can gain that recipe. I'm not sure if it happens every time, or maybe just when you make an item you've never made before, which is how I unlocked this, because I could obviously tell from the silhouette that it was going to be cute. It's also cool to note that to do the hunting skill or the bug catching skill, you need to craft. You can also buy these things, but I think it's very worth it to craft them instead. There's also a really cool feature in crafting where if you don't have an item, you can put out an item request. Other users can fulfill that request for you and give you that item. You can also fulfill requests for others and look at what everyone else is looking for. I think that's really fun and gives off a community atmosphere. For example, I was trying to make more smoke bombs because I wanted to do some bug catching, but I didn't know how to get clay, which is one of the ingredients. So I put in a request and someone fulfilled it for me. The cooking works like you think it would. After building a fire pit, you can look at all the recipes you have unlocked. Initially, you'll only have the grilled mushrooms, but as you complete quests and other things, you can unlock other recipes. Obviously, this depends a lot on your other skills because you need to get the ingredients either through fishing or hunting or foraging. Food that you cook increases your focus when you eat it. The focus is that blinking bar on the top left. When it's empty, you don't get as much experience for your skills, and potentially you perform them worse, although I'm not 100% sure on that. The farming skill, which is called gardening, involves first putting down a plot, then you hoe the ground, which I find pretty awkward, and in general it's my biggest complaint about the game. Then you plant seeds and water them. The plants do wilt if you don't water them often enough, but they don't actually die if they wilt. It just pauses their progress, which is kind of nice. These seeds that I planted took 4 in-game days to grow, and when they're finished, you can harvest them. Similar to the bugs and the fishing, sometimes you will get a crop that has a star beside it. They sell for more, but I don't know what else that star gives you. When farming, each different type of seed has different benefits that it gives to the plants around it, which is pretty cool. For example, carrots and onions prevent weeds for crops growing nearby. Potatoes help keep other crops hydrated so you don't have to water them as often. Cotton can boost the quality of other nearby crops. I think it means it'll give you more star quality crops. And then wheat and rice boost the amount that is harvested from other crops. I think that adds a strategic level to what you're farming other than just what's the most profitable, so I like that a lot. It looks like there's a lot of room for customization as well. You can see that all of these plots are things that are optional for me to expand to at some point. I don't think you're able to expand to a plot that doesn't attach to a plot you already own. So for example, I wouldn't be able to buy this square until I've bought some of these, but there's still a lot of options for you to expand and a lot of space. I think that gives the opportunity for people to create some really cool things. Unlike the other parts of the game, in your house, you can't see other players and it's just for you, but you are able to visit your friends or party members' houses, which is pretty cool. So when people make some really elaborate things, which I'm sure they will, you will be able to visit and see them. Placing and positioning items is also pretty intricate. You can be really specific with where you want something, and how you want it to be oriented. I'm really loving Palia as it is, but I wanted to quickly go over my wishlist for future additions to the game. First, I think mounts would be great. Since there are stables, I assume that that's in the works already and I'm behind it wholeheartedly. I almost said fast travel as a wishlist item until I realized that there already is fast travel in the game and I just hadn't noticed it for the 6 or so hours that I've been playing. Second, it would be cool to be able to swim without your character just fading into the abyss. I think this is probably also in the works, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. Third, I would love to have pets. One of the NPCs has a little wolf and it makes me really want one too. Finally, I'd really like the hoeing mechanic to be reworked. It just feels really awkward to me and I don't like it. Overall, this is a cozy, beautiful game and it's free to play, so there's really no reason not to try it. Thanks everyone for watching and stay cozy.